All right, what's up out there to all of my fellow gold diggers? This is your girl Rita, also known as the self-proclaimed gold digger. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. I am so glad to have you. But if you are a fellow gold digger, welcome back. I love and I appreciate each and every one of you. Today is Side Hustle Saturday. But we have a new segment as part of Side Hustle Saturday. And that is now what I'm calling Small Business Saturday. And with Small Business Saturday, we are highlighting small businesses as well as entrepreneurs that want to come on and share about their business, share about how they got started in their businesses, and give us some information, some tips and lessons that they learned, mistakes that they made. So that is what we are doing on today. My first guest on Side Hustle Saturday, Small Business Saturday. Y'all are in for a treat. He is so awesome. I am going to get into that, but you definitely want to stay tuned because he also has a special announcement for us as well. Now, before I get started, because y'all know I am not the best when it comes to social media. So I got to make sure all of my social media channels are going. And then I have a couple of church announcements that I need to give to you guys as well regarding what's going on. So I told y'all about the new segment with Side Hustle Saturday is Small Business Sunday. I'm also getting into taking care of my body, taking care of my health. So I do have a health challenge coming up that I will be sharing with you guys. If you want to participate in that, you definitely can. We are going to be doing it over the next 6 months. And if you do participate in that, you will be in each month, we will have a drawing that you will be entered into where you can get a one-on-one coaching session with me. And the coaching can be about business coaching, money coaching, financial coaching, mystery shopping coaching, whatever kind of coaching you might need aside from relationship coaching. I don't do that. But any type of coaching, you can have that if you participate in the fitness challenge. All right, so I'm straight on my social media channels. Without further ado, let me tell you about the young man that I am going to be bringing to the stage. And also, he just celebrated his birthday on yesterday. So we want to wish him happy birthday. But I remember this young man when I was in college. He was a powerhouse. His name is Jason Mahoney of Crafted to Motivate. And at that time, Jason was doing poems. He was doing speaking, and he still does speaking. Jason has written several books, so he is an author. He has even done like screenwriting and has a movie, all kinds of stuff, and plays as well. So Jason has done a lot of things. But if you know Jason, he is always working on something. So now Jason is, and he's a coach, but now Jason is also lecturing. He's moderating. He's a professional MC. He has a host of clients in his business, Crafted to Motivate, that he is helping on a daily basis and helping those businesses achieve their goals. So Jason is just doing a lot of things, and he is a wealth of information. So without further ado, I am going to bring to the screen and bring to the stage my friend, my brother from another mother, Mr. Jason T. Mahoney.
What's going on, good people? Jason? Nothing much. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I check out my new microphone.
Go right ahead. Excuse me. Now, Jason, did I do you justice? Did I leave anything out? Because
it was phenomenal. It was good. It was good. I was scared on the introduction. You know each other from college. College days. So.
No, I'm not gonna say anything because you could say something back. So, so I'm not gonna say anything unless I want my tea spilled too. So I'm not gonna do that to you.
We'll drink to that. Some water in the morning.
Yes. So y'all wish Jason a happy birthday.
Thank you.
He said he had a good birthday. He's just trying to get rehydrated and everything. Right. Now, Jason, so tell us about your organization, Crafted to Motivate.
Gotcha. So interesting enough, something I'm doing now in this new part of my life is I get so excited when I talk about things, and then sometimes I forget things. So I have challenged myself to now start keeping notes. But as mentioned, I'm the founder and owner of Crafted to Motivate Limited Liability Company, which is a Raleigh, North Carolina-based consulting firm where we provide everything that you may need for a small business. If you need just basic coaching to just get you on that path to get where you need to be, all the way to the point of we can design your website, we can create videos for you, do social media. We pretty much do everything that a small business needs to get to their next level. We also work with big businesses as well, but it's really about small businesses and really helping individuals get to their next level. So that's the coaching, consulting, social media, website, graphic design, all that stuff. And we just don't do basic coaching. We have financial coaches, we have HR coaches, we have wellness coaching, we have life coaching, we also have relationship coaching. So it's pretty much coaching, and whatever you want to insert yourself in, you can get that coaching model piece. But also, as Sharita mentioned, I'm also an author, have a couple books out, and I also turned one of my books into an actual movie where it was aired here in Raleigh, North Carolina at a local theater. And so if you want the movie to come to your town, we can do that as well. But the movie focuses on trauma and helping individuals understand what trauma is and how they can move through that trauma to get what they need. And I'm a firm believer that everyone has some type of trauma in their lives, and it's important for us to be able to address it and move forward from it. So that's what the movie is about. And so it's a movie screening, and then we also have a discussion after the movie to just talk about what did you learn, how can you apply it, and how can you take this message to individuals. Do a host of other things, but my passion, my love, if I can do it for the rest of my life, I would do it. And that is workshops, training, and facilitating. And so I gave birth. My mom gave birth to me on yesterday, 43 years ago. And on today, for the first time on this live show, I'm announcing the birth of the Crafted to Motivate Academy. That's right. We're opening a school within the Crafted to Motivate. And that school is really every single month we will do some type of workshop or training that will help individuals get to that next level. Some of them will be free. Some will also be at a small price, but the whole purpose of it is to have that academy so individuals can come learn. And so we have professors that are going to be in the academy. We're able to give some CEUs, some training hours. And so today on this screen, I feel honored to introduce that today we gave birth to the Crafted to Motivate Limited Liability Academy. And so any training needs, we customize whatever you need. So giving birth to that. So that's what I want to share for the first time on this screen, that we have given birth to the academy. Yeah, we got a school within Crafted to Motivate to help you get to your next level.
Congratulations, Jason. I am thrilled for you. I am so excited for you. When I first got introduced to Jason, well, what Jason was doing, Jason has always been doing phenomenal things ever since college. But him and my husband were college suite mates, and you were working with my husband, and I was just kind of tagging along and stuff like that. And we were at a Crafted to Motivate event for breast cancer awareness. And once I saw all the stuff that Jason was doing and different and other things that he had did before, like Jason has just done so many things. So it had been a culmination of different events that I saw Jason put on or things that he helped facilitate. And I was like, Jason, I want to work with you. And I was like, put me in, coach, put me in. And Jason was like, Sharita, what you gonna do? I said, whatever you need me to do, Jason, I'll do it. And he was like, I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm gonna have to talk to my team. But I guess you talked to your team, and eventually he brought me on. So I am excited about this academy. Whenever I talk to Jason, Jason always has a new idea that he is trying to create or get me to partner with him in doing. And some of them, I'm like, Jason, I'm not doing that. Jason, like I said, Jason is a very, very powerful speaker. And Jason is also very, very humble. So he mentioned he does facilitating workshops and moderating stuff, and that is his passion. He did not say what his background is, why he has such credentials and can speak so highly about these different topics and talk about trauma and stuff like that, is because he is a social worker. So it's just not any and everybody getting up here talking to you and trying to help you or whatever. He has a background in social work where he knows the different situations that people are coming from and is equipped and capable of helping you navigate these different life situations, these different trauma situations, as well as help you in your business as well. So he is working on his doctorate, PhD, and everything. So he comes very highly credentialed and highly experienced. So you definitely need to tap in with Jason and see what he is all about.
Absolutely. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. And I'm a firm believer that everyone, when you came into the world, you came into this world for a purpose, regardless of what you have done. I mean, your background, you're still here. So you got to live out your purpose. And I'm a firm believer that, hey, once you find that, that is the best thing since sliced bread. I don't know why they say that, because I think the other thing best since sliced bread, but that's neither here nor there.
Yes. And we got a few comments that I want to share really quickly, and then we're going to get into some questions. Y'all, I'm going to be asking Jason some questions about his business, how he got started, that kind of thing. But if you have any questions for Jason, please make sure you put them in the chat as well. Still Rocks, what's up, Still Rocks? He says, we in here, and he wished you a happy birthday. Miss Teresa Jones, thank you so much for joining. She says, good morning. And she says, all the coaching you need in one stop. That's right. Jason will get you right. And Jason, he works with small business owners, but like I said, he's very humble. He has some high profile clients as well, okay, that he's helping them with in their businesses too. And then none other. Yes, Jason's mom, Mrs. Mahoney. Hi, Miss Mahoney. She says, good morning. Now, Jason, with the Academy, how do they need to go to the website to get, if they're interested in joining the Academy?
Yes. So if you go to the website, www.craftedtomotivate.com, you'll see a tab that says CTM Academy. Click on that and it'll give you a little blurb about it. And then you can scroll down and request more information. So if you're a church or what have you, whatever your organization is. So for example, it's not just we have something we invite you, but if you're a church and you want your church to be trained in trauma, you can go to the Academy website, click request, and then we will actually come and do a trauma training for your church. We're going to be doing customer service because, hey, what I found is a lot of small businesses, customer service is bad. I'm just going to keep it real. And so we have a dynamic person that is on my team that is dying to do a customer service training for small businesses and show them how that even though you may be a small business, a one-man show, you can still do good customer service. Because I think we lose a lot of customers when we have bad customer service. Call people back. I mean, it's just that easy. Send a text. Yeah.
Well, since you brought that up, I wasn't going to ask about this, but since it's a topic, so for those small businesses out there, or for somebody who's thinking about starting their own business, or they might have a side hustle that they're doing, what would you say are the biggest mistakes you see small business owners or entrepreneurs making when it comes to customer service?
Gotcha. I think the biggest mistake that I see is saying one thing but doing another. It's almost kind of like fishing people in to get the money from them, and then not actually really producing the outcome what you said you do. And then another one is just poor customer service of not returning telephone calls, not returning emails. I'm a firm believer that if I connect you with somebody, go ahead and reach out to that person, because I've already told that person that you're going to reach out there and they're ready to help you. And so I think it's important just to be able to humanize the experience. I understand you're a business owner, but you still got to humanize the experience, because people are still people. And you may even be a tech person and that may be your side business, but you got to still remember that the person that you're serving in your tech company, that's a human first, and being able to humanize the customer service experience. You know, if you want somebody to give you a call back, when you're calling that 1-800 number and they keep saying press 0, press 2, press 5, and you press every number to get to a human, guess what? Your customers that you're serving, they want that humanized experience as well.
Yes. So what Jason is saying is make sure when you have your business, you want to under promise and over deliver instead of over promising and under delivering when you're trying to get people or trying to get the business. And I think that might happen because as small business owners, you might be getting overwhelmed with some of the stuff. And so if you are new or just starting out, you got to see what you can handle. So it's best to under promise so that you over deliver and make sure you're providing exceptional customer service. Like Jason said, they are a person. So make sure you put a personal touch to it so that they will want to come back. And not have the runaround. I always tell people in my business, like most people, they get anxious when they don't know what's coming next. So if you're not guiding them and showing them and telling them, hey, I will get back to you next day, or it's going to be, 48 hours before I can return your call or something like that, then they're going to keep harassing you. And that's I shouldn't say harass. They're going to keep contacting you. Right. And then that's going to leave a bad taste in their mouth because they're like, I'm calling this person every day and they're not returning my phone calls, when you should have just set the standard in the beginning, like, hey, it'll be a 48-hour turnaround time or whatever your policy might be. But if you don't lay out those different policies or the groundwork for people, they don't know what to expect. So you need to make sure when you're creating your business, you are creating the right expectations for your customers so that they'll know what you are going to be able to provide. And so that they can say, well, I need somebody who's going to get in contact with me in an hour. I can't wait 48 hours for somebody. So they'll know if this is going to be a good fit or not for them. But let's get into Jason and his business, Crafted to Motivate. What sparked this idea for you to create Crafted to Motivate, and how did you actually get started? Like, when did it officially launch?
Gotcha. So, and that was quite interesting because I still do not know. I never, ever did an official launch of my business. That's the crazy thing. Like, I have never done a business launch. I've done a book launch, but I've never done a business launch, right? And I think I might need to do a business launch because I've never done one. So, but my business got started because, and I think it comes from just who I am as a human services professional. So I started off doing like a lot of outreach type work. And so serving the community, like I started off with this thing called socks and sips, right? Which every Christmas I would have friends over to the house, and people want to get together for the holidays, and I was like, y'all, let's do socks and sips. And they was like, what is this foolishness? And I was like, hey, let's bring some socks, and then we'll have some wine, and then we'll collect socks and we'll donate them to like homeless people. So I started like socks and sips, and actually this year will be the 10th year of socks and sips. But the crazy thing is, I still didn't have my business. So what struck me doing my business was I kept running into people, and they will always come to me from the human services perspective of and what I mean by human services perspective is like who I am as a person that serves humanity. They would always come to me with some of their concerns, and then I would just sit and talk with them, and I was like, well, what is your purpose in life? What do you think you want to do? And then from there I realized that, okay, people coming to me to help coach them, to help them identify what they want to do in their life. So then I got certified in the coaching piece. I already had the counseling background. So then I realized, okay, if people are going to come to me and I want to help them get their business started or those type of things, and I need to legitimize my business if I'm going to be helping people with their business. And so what struck that was the idea of I'm serving people. People had a need. So then I had to say, okay, so many people are coming to me and they have a need. Let me make sure and build the house for them. So for example, we started off with that coaching piece, and then now people saying, hey, they need professional headshots. Okay, let's add that. So every time a person will come to us, we want to do like a warm-up model. Is that when you come to us, we gonna provide you with what you need. I'm a firm believer. If I can't do it in my business, I'm going to connect you with someone who has that skill to make sure that they can help you as well. So my business, to me, it just kind of fell in my lap from the different things of doing it, and then I just legitimize what I was already doing and realized I can get paid for what I have a passion for, as long as the money is not constituting changing the human experience in my business.
Very good, very good. And so Jason said the business came to him. He didn't come to the business, is basically what he's saying. People were attracted to him. And I guess it's just because of your helping nature as well, Jason. Just like with me, I was like, okay, I see you doing some good stuff. I want to help out too. So, and that's just the type of person that Jason is. He is always willing to help, sometimes to his own detriment, but
That part. That part.
but he is always willing to help. So the business kind of came to you and you said, hey, I'm attracting these people, let me go ahead and legitimize stuff. Were there any obstacles or hurdles or even possibly mistakes that you made in navigating this new role as business owner?
Right. One of the biggest mistakes I made was I had to realize that my service is not for everybody. And I had to realize I cannot take on every client that knocks at my door.
Mm.
A lot of people be like, well, they scared of Google reviews. I've had some clients, if they've given me some email reviews, and it was it was hurtful. But then I realized, I was like, wait a minute, Jason, but you knew at the beginning you was not supposed to work with that person, but you went ahead and tried to do it because you want to help and save everybody. So I had to realize that everybody that comes is not assigned to my business. Provide them what they need at that moment, that surface level, and keep it moving. I had to be able to gain discernment of who do I go deep with into the coaching piece and who do I just provide that basic what they need and keep it moving. So for me, I would say a mistake is no, you have to know who your customer is, and that is something about business. That's real business, because you have to know who you're serving, who your customers are. See, somebody said all business ain't good business. Exactly. And all money is not good money. And so for me, that was a learning lesson for me, is to know who my clients are and to discern at what level I'm supposed to work with them. Because again, just use Victoria's Secret. They know who their customers are. So they're going to cater to their customers. And so they're not going to try to do whatever to cater to everybody, because that's not our customer base. So learning that it is important for a customer, for a business owner, to know that what you're crafting is not for everybody. And you got to be okay that it's not for everybody, and be okay with letting some customers go, or turning them around. And so that's why also a part of the Craft and Motivate, we have the Craft and Motivate network. So you may not necessarily be a customer of my business, but you can be a customer of somebody else that is receiving a service for my business. So for example, I'm so excited. I have this client that I will be releasing soon, and she was shy. I hope she's listening. She was shy. She didn't believe in herself or any of those things. And a part of my business is I love to bring people in that really don't know where they are now, but I see a gift in them. And so we've been working together, and she will be releasing her business very, very soon. And I'm so excited for her, because again, she came in and we worked with her. She understood the model. So that was a customer that we knew that was one of our customers. There's some other people that I would have that same vision and hope for, but it was to my detriment. And so I had to learn who my customers are and be able to kind of separate it.
Yes, that is a very valuable lesson to learn, but it can also be a tough lesson as well, especially when you're starting out and you're wanting to possibly make money. Now, I know, Jason, your motivation is not money, but
Right.
but some people, they're like relying on this business, or they're hoping that it will supplement something, and you like, okay, I'm not bringing in this, let me try this or whatever, and then you try and do this stuff. Or what often happens too is this isn't what you kind of wanted to focus on, and because you start trying to please the client, you get all outside of your zone of genius, and you realize you putting in all this extra work, and it's not even, I won't say it's not worth it, but you're probably not getting compensated accordingly for it. And it's just because it's I won't say it's out of your scope, but it's out of what you wanted to focus on. And there's a saying, just like all business ain't good business, it's like if you try to market to everyone, you're marketing to no one. So you
Exactly.
have to know who your ideal client is. Also, too, just like you were saying about your client who had to kind of like grow into herself and grow into her business, you have to know for yourself, hey, this is the lane, this is the avenue that I want to pursue, and be confident and assured in what you're doing so that you're not easily swayed when somebody says, well, you should be doing this or you should be doing that. Now, you should also listen to good counsel and stuff like that, but you can't be easily swayed off course when you know, hey, this is my mission for my business. This is what I would like to do. This is what I would like to stay focused on and everything. So
And
that, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Yeah, and I'm just gonna say that's really important because I know for me, so many people have come to me and said, "You should do this. You should do this. You should do this." And so one thing, my faith is really important for me. That is, and I don't know what everybody's belief is, what have you, but I know what my faith is, right? But I tell people that I don't make any. Now I used to, right? But in this season and move forward, I don't make decisions without seeking God as my counsel. You know, people can come to me and say, well, you should do this, you should do this. But if I ain't heard from God, I'm not going to invest in it because I've done that before where I did an investment and I'm like, the Lord ain't told me to do this. And I'm over here looking fool, right? But so grateful for his grace and mercy, right? So
Yes.
and he covers us in our foolishness. And so I would definitely tell business owners, you know, even if you don't believe in a higher power, what have you, there is still that little person in your mind when somebody comes to you with an idea. Sit and listen to what your intuition is telling you, because I'm telling you, you do not want to have to backpedal and make bad mistakes. I mean, I used to have a business before Crafted and Motivate. I'm just going to be real. And it did not do well. It didn't do well because number one, it was based on what somebody came to me and said, oh, you should be doing this. And this person happened to be quote unquote a prophet, right? So they came to me and was telling me this word and just all this stuff, nothing against it, right? But I got to hear it from God myself. So it was a business I had invested money. I mean, did all this, connected to the wrong person and people. It was like belly up, but I had to learn. If you don't hear it from your higher power, I know who mine is. Don't jump out there on that water because you might be like Peter and ain't nobody gonna be out there. Jesus was out there for Peter, but you might jump out on that water sometime, and the only person that's gonna be able to come save you is the shark.
Not the shark, Jason.
Shark. Because that means you gone. You gone because you done jumped out there on that jumped out there on that boat.
I hear you. We have a comment. And yes, thank y'all for putting in your comments as well. You can also put in your questions. Also, please like and subscribe if you are enjoying the content. Still Rock says, I'm guilty of trying to help everyone too. Sometimes we have to give them the steps and send them on the mission. I've tried to actually handhold people and missed out on other potential opportunities. Yes. So we've all had to learn that valuable lesson and everything. Jason, since you do a lot of coaching and working with other small business owners, what do you see the majority of business owners kind of struggling with or having issues with? Like, some, you don't have to name specific clients or anything like that, but is there a theme that you see from majority of your clients?
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing that I see is when they come in as a new business owner is the financial investment that it takes. A lot of people will see the glam and all of that stuff, and so I always tell them that you have to pay for these items. You know, you have to invest in your business. It does cost you. My dad would always say growing up that it takes money to make money. So if you're a business owner, you got to be willing to invest financially in what it is that's going to take to grow your business. Now, then they'll say, well, I don't have the money. That's where your hustle come in. You have a gift. Use your gift to get the revenue in order to turn around and invest it back in your business. And also make those sacrifices out of your current money to pour back into your business, right? If you've been going out to eat every day, stop. Just save $1.25 a week, whatever you can save, put it in a piggy bank. And then the time will come where you now have the money to invest it back into your business. Another thing is, please do not have an LLC and operate your business money out of your personal bank account. Go and get your bank. And so it's those type of things that I see in a lot of small businesses, is that you commingling funds, you getting funds from people, but you're not spending it appropriately based on how it's allocated to you. If you have a vision, goal, or dream, it is going to cost you money. Stop going the cheap route out. Seriously. If you go the cheap route out, your stuff gonna look cheap, your business will look cheap, and people don't want it, and people don't want cheap, right? Be willing to invest. People will say, well, Jay, you do this, you do that. I tell people all the time, as a child, I grew up every day seeing my dad hustle. I mean, like, good hustle. He would get up in the morning, 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, go and work at somebody's factory. Then he would leave work, come home, and sit and eat dinner with all of the kids and my mom, right? So we had family dinner. People get back to that, okay? We had family dinner. Dad would talk about his day, we talk about our day, and we talk. After Dad finished eating, he would chill with us for a few moments. Then Dad would go out in the shed, and then my dad will build furniture, right? After work during the week. On the weekends, my dad will get up and he may cut people grass. He may go work on somebody's house, build something. But my dad hustled 7 days a week, right? But he hustled 7 days a week because he was investing in his children. So now we're all adults and we can now turn around and invest back in dad. And that's where your business come in. Your hustle, you got to be willing to commit. Because so for my whole life, that's all I understood is that when you want something, you got to work for it. Nobody's going to give you anything. You got to put your time. The old church folk used to say, put your time in, because it's coming after a while. Put your time in. Payday coming after a while.
Yes, that is such good advice. You got to be ready, willing and ready to hustle. And if you want the things that other people don't have, or you're striving for stuff, you got to put in the work that other people aren't willing to put the work in to do. So I think entrepreneurship and this kind of lifestyle where you can work where you want or have your own business and all this kind of stuff, it's being glamorized. But it's hard work. It is a grind. It is a grind. And if you want things to turn out like they're supposed to, you are going to have to put in the work, especially initially. Maybe as things get better, you'll have a team and everything. But just speaking for myself, I didn't get home yesterday from my job until 8 p.m. 8 p.m. And I gotta go today as well, which I don't like, but to take care of some stuff on the back end to make sure we are going to be prepared on Monday when we reopen the doors and stuff like that. You got to be willing to make those sacrifices and do the work that you need to do so that you can excel. Now, I could stay home. I really want to sit home and watch HGTV or whatever, but I know I'm going to do a disservice to my patients when they come in on Monday if I don't have certain things lined up or take care of certain things that need to be in place. And right now we are short-staffed and we have some different things going on. So I got to step up and do the work, and it's going to fall back on you. So entrepreneurship, owning a business, it is very rewarding, but you have to put the work in. Now, I will say too, I think some people are hesitant on investing in themselves for a couple of reasons. One, like Jason said, you just going to be cheap. But I'm saying if you're going to be cheap like that, you're going to attract cheap people. So be the person that you want to attract. So if you want people who aren't going to be nickeling and diming you, asking you all these different questions about why you charge, what you charge, then don't be that person. Don't be that person. Be the client that you want to attract. Because if you're like that with somebody who is trying to offer you help and assistance, guess what? You're probably going to attract people who are like, well, it shouldn't cost all that for what you offering or whatever. But that's the energy you're putting out. And that might also be the energy that you receive. I also think some people have gotten burned by investing in some people who did not provide them with what they were supposed to provide. So I always say, do your research, do your due diligence. And I always say marketing is the best seller. So some people got some good marketing plans, but they don't have good product or services. And so they just got a great marketing team. But you want to make sure you do your research in whoever you're investing in when it comes to like business coaching or whatever product or service that might help your business. You want to make sure that it's tried and true. And also, don't be so reliant on this thing to turn your business around. You still got to put your work in. Sometimes, because I work with Jason with the coaching team, and people think that I'm supposed to just make your business. No, you still got to do the work. Like, I'm just a coach. You still got to do the push-ups. So I'm just showing you what you need to do, or recommending stuff that could help your business. But at the end of the day, you got to put the work in. You got to do the reps yourself if you want to see results. I can't do the reps, then I'm gonna be looking good,
And what was funny, you did an episode, and I was commenting on it because I loved it. It was when you were talking about people calling to ask to borrow money, and when somebody and so literally, like, somebody cash app, and somebody just sent me a cash app of $10. Like, can I request, they want to borrow $10. I'm like, $10? You can go pick up some canned goods during the weekend, but I say that to say that there are people who I have interacted with sometimes, and we just sit and we just having a conversation, and that, I want some money. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do this. And I was like, well, you make really good cakes. I'm like, you ever thought about selling your cakes or what have you? They're like, oh yeah, I thought about it, but I don't feel like doing all that work when, if I don't want to put it, if somebody called me and I don't feel like baking, I still will listen. You will never be able to do the things and get to where you want to be from a financial perspective because you're sitting right here on a gold mine, but you too lazy to do what you got to do to get the money. I said, so don't call and ask me to borrow $20 or $10 if you can make a cake. And I said, now here's what we can do. I'm having an event. I need you to bake X amount of cakes, and I'll pay you for them, but I ain't gonna randomly just give you the money, because again, I'm showing you that this is how you can take your gift, but you got to make sure organize your gift, and then don't be a catering company and don't have business insurance.
That part.
It just, some things just do not make sense. And then that's why I told people that you got to be ready to invest in your business. If you want to say, hey, I want to open a mental health agency. Okay, that's great. So do you know the policies and procedures? Let's make sure can you commit doing the policies and procedures before you even start saying you're going to do this? A lot of people want to start a business, but they don't look at what it takes to operate a business. It sounds good, but you got to be willing to really and truly put in the work. Because I'm gonna be honest, my parents were up here with me one weekend, and so and I think sometimes they forget that I'm an adult. So I got out of work and I came 8 or what have you, came and got on the computer, started working. It was about maybe like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night. So my mom came in the office. She was like, all right, you need to go to bed. And then I was like, no, I'm hustling, right? So then after I did decide to go to bed, she called me in the room and said, your dad want to talk to you. And my dad begins to then tell me, was like, all right, so you're overworking yourself, get some rest, I'm like, but I saw you do the same thing, right? So it's just so interesting that, they have that concern to say, don't overwork, boom, boom. But I am who I am today because I saw that hustle in my mom and my dad. And then I want to do the same thing and pass it on to somebody else to say, you can do this.
Don't knock them too much, Jason. They don't want you to work as hard as they had to work. Cause they like, I know I ain't bust my butt for him to still be working like this. They want to be a little bit easier, but you still had that good work ethic and stuff.
Right.
And let's see real quick, some comments. And then, you had said something else good that I want to talk about too. April says, if you won't invest in yourself, you can't expect others to. So true. And Teresa said that, yes, that's good. And yes, Still Rock says this is good as well. And yeah, you said you have to be able to make that investment. And you said like starting a business, people, they want to start a business, but operating a business is different. And that is so true. How many of us, and I'm guilty of it, Plenty of times. There's been plenty of things I started. I started a different workout routine. I started a different eating plan. Did I
Mhm.
continue? Did I continue along that path? Not necessarily.
Mhm.
And I know it's a lot to start a business, but it takes even more to operate a business. So if you are already struggling and challenged with starting a business, or the task seems daunting or overwhelming, that is just the beginning. And that is how it is in most things in life and everything. You are trying to get to college and stuff like that. It's, I won't say easy to get into college, but staying in college,
Mhm.
graduate. That's why some people don't graduate, not knocking anybody, but just know the beginning is, I won't say the easy part, but the easier part. But there are going to be challenges and stuff that you face along the way. And I think people don't factor that in. And I don't know if it's just because they're overwhelmed or blindsided by just the mere challenge of just starting, that they haven't looked forward thinking to see, well, how am I going to be able to continue to operate and continue to maintain? And
Right.
I don't know, maybe they're like, let me just get my foot in the door and everything is going to work out. Sometimes that happens, but oftentimes it doesn't. Because
Mm.
statistics show most small businesses fail within the first 5 years. It might even be 3 years. I can't remember the exact statistics. So you have to not only have that mindset of starting, but what is it going to take for me to continue to
Right.
operate in the business? So
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
and as you're talking, what I was thinking when you're saying about what does it take to operate in the business, people often tap into their gifts, right? And so, it says, your gifts will make room for you. And so it's a plural, right? And it's plural S. And so I think a lot of times as well, when you get into the operating of your business, you're really operating in your gift, right? And so
Mhm.
you have to actually implement your gift, right? And so I think that's where a lot of people get challenges. They started, but then let's say you're a singer, right? That's your gift, and you want to go around, you want to be a wedding singer. I think that's an actual career, if I'm not mistaken. It was a movie, if
Mhm.
I'm not mistaken. Never saw it. But if you want to be a wedding singer, right? That means you have to sing, right? That means you have to go to rehearsal. That means you have to, exercise a certain way. That means you have to keep your vocals. So operating as a wedding singer, and then you also got to make sure that you got the right contract. You don't want to, get to an event, you go up and sing the wedding down, and the people don't pay you, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you got to be a wedding singer, but you also got to know how to interpret and read a contract. And I think a lot of times people they enjoy it. I think sometimes people enjoy their gift and all that stuff, but operating in their gift as a business, they don't enjoy that part. So I tell people that's why you got to have a team, because having a team, there are going to be people on your team that likes the business, right? And then you can operate in doing what you do as that business owner and go from there. Because there are things in my business that I do not like to do at
Mhm.
all, at all. So I thank God that now I have a team that, hey, I can move people and say, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do that? Because I just don't like certain things. And so I'm able to get people to work together to do that. But that's what it takes to operate your business.
Yes. And that's the challenge. And even when it comes to operating it, when, like you said, a lot of people, they enjoy their gift, they enjoy doing certain things. But when you turn that gift into a business, there are aspects of business that you are going to have to do to maintain the business that are not going to be enjoyable. But
Mhm.
if you want to survive, you have to do the necessary things to make it happen and everything. And then also too, you have to sometimes we're doing this stuff because we enjoy it, it's fun or whatever, and we get paid for it. And
Mhm.
you go and you spend that money instead of investing the money because you're like, well, I can just do something again and get it. But that's really an inconsistent way of thinking of your business. So yes, you need to operate in your gift, but then that gift also challenges you to start thinking and operating differently. Like, okay, I got paid this amount this day or this week or whatever. What do I need to do to continue to get paid this on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis? Like, start envisioning, what does that look like? Does that mean, like using your wedding singer analogy, does that mean I have to sing every weekend? Sometimes we'll set these big goals for ourselves, but don't realize the work we have to put in to achieve it. So if you want to make X amount of money as a wedding singer, most weddings are on the weekend. So then, are you willing to sacrifice every weekend so you can hit these goals? Or you like, well, I want at least one weekend to myself. Well, if that's the case, then you're going to have to dial back. I won't say dial back your goals, but, you know, say, well, I won't be able to make this much money because I choose not to work each weekend. So it's like, you just have to start thinking about, if I want to achieve this level of success, what does it require of me?
Right.
What does it take? Like, Beyonce is amazing, you know, and you know, her tour, what is the Renaissance tour and all that, that required a lot of work. You see, she documented it. So she'll let y'all know, y'all saw that good performance that I did, but this is the behind the scenes work that was months in the making, years in the making for me to be able to achieve this. Are you willing to put in years of work for a 2-hour show? I don't know how long it goes, because I didn't get any. Them tickets is too high for me. And I'm
not a big Beyonce fan. I hope you're losing and following. Yeah. I like it, but yeah, you know, I'm not a I can say But
it's like, go ahead. But that was a lot of work.
Right. But you said something, and you said behind the scenes. A lot of times, small businesses, they see the big picture of what another small business is doing, right? But they don't know behind the scenes. A lot of people have come to me and say, "Oh, Jay, you know, I want to be able to do what you do. I want to write." I'm just going to use writing a book, for example. People are like, "Oh my God, I want to write a book." Let's do it. And I tell people, if you come to me with your dream, get ready to put it into action. That's just me, turning visions and dreams into actions. Can somebody write that down? I like that.
I write it
down. So if somebody come to me and say, "Hey, yo, I want to write a book." All right, well, let's do it. Let's make it happen. And then the first meeting with them, I go over the outline and say, "Okay, this is what you have to do. First month, do this. Second month, do this. All right, now when in that third month, this needs to be done, and we need to have all this stacked up." Okay. And then also we need to pay the editor. We need to also pay our designer. We need to get your ISBN number for your book. Do you want the lot? So and it was like, by the time they was like, "Well, when am I going to write?" I said, "You say you want to write a book, so you got to find the time to write the book." Right. And so a lot of people, that's where they struggle with writing a book, is the actual process of writing a book. I'm working with a client right now, great client. And so, not breaking confidentiality or anything, but for the past 7 years, this client been writing a book.
Oh God, just one, not a series?
Yeah. I haven't gotten the first whatchamacallit yet.
Oh wow.
But guess what? They have to write a book. And you can't, and everything else does not move until you've written your stuff.
And take those steps. You see this glamorous part, but it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of moving parts behind the scenes that are going on and stuff. Like, what's that little duck analogy? Like, you see that the duck or the swan floating on the water, all nice, but them little legs is just
legs keep moving. Right. Yeah. Because it's a small book, a short read that I've been it's on my computer. It's a short read I want to release, but I know the process it takes to do it right to release. I had a client, not a client, but someone had came to us to say, "Hey, you know, see you all help people get bestseller, help people do books." I said, "Yeah, gotcha." And I was like, "Well, this is how much it costs," right? Because it's sweat equity on our end to help. And so, I don't bend on the book costs, because I can bend on some of my prices, but the book costs I don't bend, because it's so many people that are involved in the process. And so when I told them the cost, they was like, "Oh no, that's too high. I want to go with somebody else." That's fine. Not a problem. So the person released the book. And so I got a copy of the book, because I'm still going to support them. And I looked at the book and I was like, this thing is jacked up from the front to the back. They didn't have the table of contents, didn't match the numbers, the grammar. So me being me, I said, "Listen," I said, you don't put this book, you have put this book out here. It's not right. I said, they got your money. They got your money good. I said, they got you real good. I said, you didn't want to go this route. I'm gonna say, well, let me show you how this book looks. I said, if you want to put your, I said, did they tell you how you get your book in the bookstores? And it was like, what do you mean? I said, you don't have nothing in your spine. So they didn't tell them anything about, hey, this is how your book get in a bookstore. This is how you get to library, all of these things. And I was like, see, this is why we charge what we charge for a book, because when we do your book, we're preparing your book for different avenues for your book to go in. We just not going to prepare a book for you to hand out to Miss Annabelle at a family reunion. No, we want to get your book, Oprah. That our mindset is, we want you, when we do your book, our mindset is we think of Oprah Book Club. Because once Oprah says a good book, because I'm still trying to get the Oprah Book Club.
I feel you, and you're gonna get there too, Jason.
Here,
yes, you are, and I'm gonna be there at the you gonna tell Oprah you need like a little meet and greet, so I can.
The team come. And look, I always tell people there are a few people that will go with me when I meet Oprah. When we sit on, we'll do a reunion.
I don't know if I made the list since you said that, but.
Oprah gonna do a show, and she gonna say, this is a show that I'm just doing, and just want to have some excitement and just bring some good people. I heard about this young man named Jason Mahoney, and I just want to bring him on. I'm gonna say, Oprah, I'm coming, but there are 10 people that got to come with me.
That come with me.
10 people.
And y'all see, this is how Jason is. If he coming up, he gonna bring some people behind him as well. Jason, I wanted to say something or give some advice to some of the business owners and entrepreneurs based off of what you said. You said someone came to you, they wanted to do their book, and they said it was too high. If you've never written a book before, how do you know what's too high? So some of y'all are coming for book, or whatever kind of coaching, business coaching, to write a book or whatever, and you don't want to necessarily invest because it might seem like it's too expensive. But how do you know it's too expensive if this is your first time doing it? If you feel it's too expensive, then talk to other people, see what they have. Make sure you're asking questions. Just like in the example that Jason used, the client went with, or the person went with someone else, and they didn't get the level of service that Jason, his company, would have provided and everything. So when you're comparing companies, make sure you're comparing apples to apples and not apples to oranges or apples to pineapples, because you could be getting two very different versions of what you envision for different prices. And if you've never done it before, you don't know that it's too high. But doing your due diligence, doing your research, and asking questions. Ask as many questions as possible. Don't just let these people say all this stuff to you, because yes, they when you meet with Jason, he has a pitch or whatever, like he's gonna say these are the services we provide, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. But ask questions. If there's something you don't understand, or like, okay, you say you provide website services, does that involve you creating our website, maintaining our website? Like what all is involved? Don't just say, well, if they say they do website services, they do marketing services. Ask, what does that entail? Somebody might say they do marketing services, and it might be like, yeah, we send out a flyer once a year, versus somebody else says we're marketing to all your social media channels. So you want to make sure you ask the questions, and so that you can adequately compare different companies and know, hey, is it too much? Because your mindset of what this is involving could be one thing. And just like the person he mentioned, he just wanted a book. He that was all he envisioned. He didn't know all the stuff that happens behind the scenes. And because his vision was, well, I just need my book printed, that's what he got. And that's what he got for a low price. But he didn't realize, well, you need to have this, you need to have that. You have to be able to, we help you with ways to get into bookstores, libraries, all that kind of stuff. So those are additional services that they're providing, which are going to encompass a different fee. So sometimes when you go and you ask for business coaching, your idea of something is like one way, but the person who has the experience knows that there are levels and steps on the back end that you might not have even considered. And because of the work that is involved, that is why they're charging what they're charging.
And interesting enough, and staying with the book analogy, you talked about just doing it right. And so again, I've released a couple books, and so what was interesting enough, a good friend of mine, shout out, you know who you are. She had a connect. She and again, it's about, and again, this is what Craft and Motivate do. We have a network, so she had a connect, and so the connect reached out to her and say, "Hey, I am the operator of this public library, and that operator wanted her book in the library, and she said, do you know any other authors that we can actually index their books into our library?" Right? Because that person, they believe in the work that I do, and they know the type of work that I do. They reached out to me and say, hey, here's an opportunity. Do you want your book in this library? Right? The person who reached out to me, she didn't even question the validity of my books to be indexed in the library, because she knew that I created them library ready, right?
Yes.
And so after she gave it to me, then I reached out to people who I work with and say, hey, do you want your book showcased here? They say yes. So then I looped them in, right? But that person who, even though that person is a friend of mine, but that person who did that book, I could not reach out to them because that book would not have met the criteria for what it needs to be indexed. And I think, that where it also comes is that when you're doing that, you got to be mindful that sometimes you will miss out on a connection if you don't do it right. And so I say that. And the interesting thing about going back to prices, there's some prices that I'm non-negotiable on, right? The book piece, because it takes so much. But I do keep my prices very low. And I keep my prices low for the simple fact is that my business was created to help small businesses. Now, however, when a person, for example, I like working with somebody who may be on a fixed income, because I want to show them to say your dream can still come to reality. My best client right now, I love her. She is over 75 years old, and she made a decision to say, this is what I want to do. And she calls me to say I need to pay an invoice. I don't have to call her, right? So, but she's faithful over what she has. And so because of that, I'm working with her. But now people that I know that have the means, discernment, and you want to come and nickel and dime and pimp, to me, that's a listen, entrepreneurs, when somebody comes to you and want to nickel and dime you, they are disrespecting the validity of your business. Somebody that does not have the means but is willing to pay, those are the people you need to give a discount to, because that's Miss Annabelle and Mr. Jones, who may come on a fixed income, but I promise you their nephew is the mayor of the town. And they have a connection. So you have to know who to serve in your business, and then who's to know, oh, this is just business. And so you have to know that. And so for me, I had to learn that from lots of mistakes and being able where I am now. So for me, my prices are affordable because I want to make sure that the people that need my service have access to the services. And then I want to work with people. And that's pretty much a big scheme of thing as well, is know when to do what you need to do. I'll go in a store and I'll say, hey, what's your discount? They're like, you always asking for a discount. I said, it's okay. I said, I'm okay for people asking me for discounts because if the person behind the counter feels that I'm worthy to give a discount because of whatever I'm coming with, I respect when they say yes or no. Same scenario if you have a business. You have to know who you're coming to get a discount, because the first person, this lady, she gave me a huge discount. I bought some new curtains. And it was about, I said, these are too expensive. I said, can I please get a discount? She said, I'm the manager, baby, but don't tell nobody. Hey, 5 years later, I've never told anybody, because guess what? She knew that she can trust me with the secret of giving me a discount without costing her job.
Yes.
And at it from that perspective, when people ask you for a discount, know who to give a discount to.
Yes, know who to give a discount to. And sometimes y'all asking people to give a discount, and you know that they are charging a fair price, or they're trying to make it themselves. I'm talking about more specifically to these small businesses, when you're asking them for a discount, like you've seen their work, you've seen that they're doing exceptional stuff, and you're asking for a discount for stuff when you know they are what they charge. And some of them, just like with Jason, like Jason says, he keeps his prices low, but you know that they are providing exceptional service. And like he said, sometimes when you come to them and ask for a discount, they are, you said they are, what is it? What's the word you use? You didn't say belittling, but they're
the wealthy
devaluing your
people,
service.
the wealthy people, yeah, the wealthy people that know that they can afford it, but then they want to nickel and dime it
Mm-hmm.
because what they want is they really want to go to Miss Sally's shop because Miss Sally's shop is cheaper, but they know Miss Sally's stuff is cheap. Okay. But they want to come over here to, the Jones shop, and the Jones shop stuff is a little bit more
Quality.
pricey, but it's quality. But then they want to come over here to nickel and dime us, right? For us,
Yes.
they want to pay us what they're going to pay Miss Sally, but expect us to give them Jones services for Sally prices. We
Yes.
can't do that. We
Yes.
we just can't do that. And so I know we over time, but I wrote a little piece about the word hustle.
Okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you introduced me as a poet or something. So I wrote a piece this morning, and it's called to me, the mere word hustle does not stand for hustle. Yes, it stands for going after your dreams and doing what you have to do to get that hustle. But let me explain to you what hustle really means. See, when you break it down, the H, in order for you to be on your hustle, the H represents humble. You must be humble. Humility is the foundation for your hustle. You must remain humble, grounded, and open to learning things from other people and from their experiences. The H in hustle, to be on your hustle, you got to have some humility. The U stands for understand or understanding. To be your hustle, you got to understand that it is the key. You must effectively comprehend the nuances of your craft, your audience, and your environment in which you operate. Continuous learning and comprehension are vital. So, in other words, to be on your hustle, you got to have humility, but then you got to also step into understanding. Really understand what you're doing, who you are, who you're doing it for, your audience. Then we go to the S of hustle, which stands for service. In order to really be a great organization, you must have service, not just as a phase in your business, but as a philosophy. Throughout your hustle from the beginning to the end to where you are, you must always still serve people. People. It is about giving back because somebody gave into you. Serve them back. The S is for submit, submission. You must be willing to submit to other people showing you something, but most of all, submit to God for the purpose that He has in your life. The T stands for think and being strategic thinkers to move your hustle, constantly evaluating, learning, adapting. What is your data telling you about your business? You must think. The L is for love. Love passionately, but love what you do. You
Mm-hmm.
must love your hustle. You must wake up with love with your hustle, that it does not feel like a job. It's your hustle because you love it. And the E stands for establishment. Establish your presence and your purpose in your hustle. I call it commanding your space. In order to have hustle, you got to be humble. You got to understand. You got to be willing to serve. You got to be willing to submit. You got to think. You got to love, but establish where you are, command your space. So for me, that's what hustling is all about. It is a way of living that you must do, and break down the acronym because that's the only way you can truly be a hustle.
I love it. I love it. See, Jason, he always over delivers when he comes through and talks and gives us information. He launched his academy. So if you want to be able to work with him, his website is on the screen, craftedtomotivate.com. Please be sure to tap in. He said you can scan a QR code on there and you will get connected to them so you can find ways to work with him. Anything else you wanted to share, Jason?
I would just tell people 5 things.
Okay.
Embrace your journey, embrace it. Once you understand your hustle, your vision, your goal, embrace it. It's yours. It belongs to you. Be willing to network. You cannot do this job alone, and you don't have to charge everybody. There's some people that came into your life in this journey that are there to help you in your journey, not to be customers. Know the difference.
Mhm.
Continuous learning. You must always perfect your craft. Stay persistent. Don't give up. Always ask the question. People can say three things: yes, no, or maybe. And if you never ask them, you can never get a yes.
So true. And don't be afraid if somebody say no.
They know because it's okay. That's when you tap
Hmm.
into your spiritual realm. You said no,
Yes,
it's okay. I'm gonna shake the dust off my feet and go to the next space because somebody gonna give me a blanket.
exactly. And and sometimes that no it might be the best thing that happened to
Who
you.
you telling?
Yes. So Jason has some other things that he needs to do on this wonderful, beautiful day. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. If y'all have enjoyed this, please be sure to like, share it with someone you know, small business owners or anything like that. We are going to be bringing this side hustle segment slash small business Saturday segment at least once a month. So if you are a small business and you would like your business to be highlighted, featured, and you want to be interviewed, please reach out to me on YouTube. My email address is up on my page, and you can do that. And I look forward to speaking with some of y'all. All right. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. And I'll be sending some side hustle people to you to get on your show.
Oh, thank you. You know I love it. You know I love talking to people.
Just that sweat equity, they got to put in the time.
Exactly. And get some exposure too.
Exactly.
All right. Y'all take care.
Thank you.